Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hi, Alison. It's great to be here again.
So nice to have you once more. So in this episode, we're going to be doing the April 2026 Astro Overarch.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the main events in April. We're definitely going to be talking about all the lunations, the ingresses, and any stations, which is really what everything hinges on.
Sounds great.
And maybe a couple of other bits and bobs along the way.
Some planetary aspects that are important.
That are bubbling under and coming on up. Yeah. So let's get right to it. So on April the 2nd, we've got the full moon. And this time it's actually in Libra at 12 degrees.
Nice.
Which is a great place because it's also that's conjoined Vindamayatrix, which is a story for another day. But
yes,
anyway.
I like that. Vindamayatrix. Let's just say that one more time for the close listeners.
Yes, it's the fixed star Vindamayatrix. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this full moon in Libra, and I'm suggesting that it shines a light on your relationships, balance and harmony. It reveals where give and take may be uneven and tends to encourage fairness and peace. This is a time to restore your emotional equilibrium, strengthen your partnerships, and make choices that bring beauty, cooperation, and grace into your connections and your life.
Yeah, sounds good.
So the thing is, because, Libra is that sign of partnership, one-on-one.
Balance, negotiation.
The other, your better half.
Yeah.
You complete me.
Yeah.
All of those things. Opposites attract. That's that whole thing. So when the full moon is there, the full moon is when the moon is at its brightest and lightest, and we can clearly see what is going on. There's nothing now in the shadows.
Right.
And this is the time, always at a full moon is the time where you can say, well, do I accept this relationship? Can I put up with all those things that come with it?
Right.
And maybe you can,
Yeah. And then, of course, the full moon is always when the sun and the moon are in opposition, which some people might not know.
Yeah.
I always find that a fascinating little thing. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. That's an opposition in real observable life.
Yeah. All right. So, and then moving on the 9th, we've got Mars is moving into Aries.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big thing because Mars rules Aries. Mars is totally at home in Aries, and Mars can be fully operational with all his skills and weapons at his disposal.
For sure.
What do you call them in the games when you've got all your stuff with you and whatnot, all your attributes? Yeah.
Arsenal.
Your arsenal, exactly.
That's a great Aries word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm suggesting here on the 9th of April, Mars crosses the beginning of the zodiac and enters its own sign of Aries. The red planet is at its most powerful and dynamic now as it can express itself completely. You can anticipate high energy levels, competition, and being a witness to the genesis of things.
Love it.
So when I say the beginning of the zodiac, we're saying that because Aries is the very first sign. And as you cross into Aries, you're crossing the beginning of the zodiac.
Absolutely. We've talked about this, the Aries point, and how important that is. And also how big a deal the Aries point is this year. There are several planets that are not just obviously the sun and that happens every year, but Mars and a bunch of the outer planets are crossing the Aries point or have crossed at this point. And so a pileup at that Aries point
Aries
is
too.
really fraught. And it's also sort of that political thing that we've talked about where personal and political struggles kind of come to a head. And we've seen a lot of this in the protests and all of the
ongoing
crazy action,
threatening to waving of swords and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And or unsheathing of swords or whatever they call it. Because I know they used to say that once you've actually pulled your sword out of its coverage, you have to draw blood. That's why they pull it to the point and they just hold it there because then they can still put it back without having to draw blood.
Yes.
So,
which is it's a good thing about swords that isn't true of some other weapons, because sometimes just pulling or having a gun is enough to So you have that extra layer of account, like you have one more stopping point before it comes to a head. It's the sword. It's like,
so you go sharpen your sword at home, but I'll keep mine. What's it called? A sheath, I think.
Scabbard.
A scabbard. Yeah. That's the word. Yeah. Yeah, so super interesting there. Yeah. And then on the 15th, Mercury's moving into Aries.
Yeah.
So now we've got a lot of planets there. We've got the Sun, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, Mars, and now Mercury joins the party. So the knack will be to assess and filter the good concepts from the not so good. Give yourself time to pause before taking action and anticipate that the urge to make snap decisions may get you into hot water. If in doubt, sleep on it. This is the time to talk things through ahead of time.
Yeah.
But we don't, do we? Mercury's there and you're blurting it out. You're saying, what are you saying? And other words, or who do you think you are? And all of these things. You're coming back with a retort because it's Mercury now in Aries, which is sharp, hot, and with a quick comeback.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of things in April. I know I've talked about this on previous podcasts in April, but just Google like catastrophic events in April, and there are we're not predicting anything. I'm just saying there are a ton of historical
aggressions.
Yeah, aggressive acts, and also crazy accidents and things like that. The Titanic sinking and lots more modern things. Yeah, the Rwandan genocide and tons of kind of
because
awful things.
The energy is
martial.
It's competitive. It's martial. The warmongers are out and about, and
ask questions later, and
people get behind the warmongers too because that's the mood and the energy of the time.
Yeah.
So, and we've got all these planets there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 planets are now in Aries.
Yeah.
And this is really quite a, well, we don't normally get that each year. We're not in Aries.
No, we just get a few planets for sure, always. But yeah, there's a lot of
that Aries energy being stimulated.
Yeah.
So if you happen to have a birthday in Aries, you're going to get in time all of these 6 planets conjoining your sun, stimulating you to move in their direction, to urge you on to do things that, well, Aryan type things. So it's not just the sun, any planets in Aries or points there. Do you have anything in Aries at all, Arwynne?
Just Chiron.
Oh, just Chiron. Yeah.
Chiron.
Yeah, I've just got the midheaven, so they're all going to give that a go this year coming up. So.
I dare say I'll be busy at work because it's Chiron in my 6th house.
Yes. Oh, so all of this it's like
all of this is in my 6th house. Yeah.
This kind of car jam. What's it called?
Traffic jam.
Traffic jam piling up there with all the yeah. Aries. Yeah.
Although, I mean, aren't they jammed when they're in Aries? It's like they're all going fast. It's like rush hour in Aries.
Yeah. And they're all red cars. Yes. Yeah. So kind of busy there as well.
Yeah. Do you have anything in Aries?
Just the midheaven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So as I say, all these planets are going to have a go at my midheaven shortly this year. Definitely the other ones, the big ones, Saturn and Neptune as well. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. And then on the 17th, we have the new moon in Aries.
Yeah.
So this is now when the moon's come right round again and it's conjoining the sun. So it's a new moon in Aries, which is great. So this will be at 27 Aries.
Right.
And this moon will spark fresh beginnings, courage and action. It is the ideal time to set bold intentions and take initiatives. New moon washing under Aries energy helps you focus on personal goals, independence and confidence building.
Mm-hmm.
So trust your instincts, start something new, and lead with passion and purpose.
I love it. And also, of course, look at where 27 Aries is in your chart. And maybe that is the area that you could lean into with your new moon wishing or intentions.
Absolutely. Yeah. The house of the new moon. Yeah. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. I like that. That would make a good song, House of the New Moon.
The House of the New Moon. They should write a song about that.
They should. Someone should.
All right. And then we get to the 20th of April and the sun enters Taurus now.
Yeah.
So situations and relationships begin to stabilize. The excessive energy of the previous weeks now gives way to a steadier and more sustainable pace. Make sure your heart is in everything you do. And if you need more time, slow things down and do not allow yourself to be rushed, as sure and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
So this is the hare and the tortoise bit happening now, isn't it? So where we were haring along, and when it was in Aries, we're now tortoising along as it's in Taurus.
Yes, Taurusing along.
Yes, we're Taurusing along. Yeah, so it's a slower time. It's a time when pause for thought. It's an earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign, so we want to be slower, do grounding exercises, which is like stand barefooted on the earth, and not just the floor of your room, but outside in the grass and outside on the beach or something. And grounding exercises are great things for this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that mid-April, whichever hemisphere we're in, there's a good chance that will be beach weather. Not hot beach weather necessarily, but nice enough to take your shoes off and get your feet in the sand.
Yeah. We all love doing that.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the 24th, we've now got Venus leaving Taurus, entering Gemini.
Yes.
So now you can see two sides of your loved ones, and you may not enjoy both. People are likely to show another face of their personality, especially to loving partners, and double check all financial accounting, as you might surpass your credit limit unknowingly.
Yes.
This is because Gemini is the
duality, double.
Yes,
sides.
the two sides, the Janus and Janus, right?
Yes. If you order things from Uber Eats or any of those services, check your bills, because they do have a tendency to double or sometimes even quadruple charge when you're not checking. I found.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So perhaps when Venus is in Gemini, this will be even more prevalent. But,
yes.
Always good advice anyway to double check those
accounting, the financial movements, right? And what's going on in your bank account.
Yeah.
And
it's so easy to just tap away, but they know that. They know it's easy.
It's true. Yeah. So, Venus was much happier in Taurus, but now it's into Gemini. So, and this business of duality with your loved ones. So I'm not saying everyone who's partners is going to lie to them, but if there is a propensity to do so, this will be the time when you hear things and you think, that wasn't what they said a moment ago. They said they were here, now they were there, or something. And you've got that kind of thing. So if you don't want to know, don't look.
That's always good advice. Honestly, I mean, because the first bit of advice, the first thing you think to say is, trust but verify or whatever. But also, if you don't want to know, don't look. Exactly. Don't go snooping in someone's phone.
No, imagine.
Right. I mean, thank God.
Who does that, right? No.
I mean, unless you have the kind of relationship where you know that you can use each other's devices, or that the bank accounts are shareable and all these things. Like,
but you'll do it yourself. You see, you might just be saying, these shoes were only $80. Meanwhile, they were $280.
Right?
You just slide things past. You try and slide things past people.
For sure.
Yeah,
it's true.
So interesting.
Or thinking that you can kind of keep one foot in each relationship. That's right.
This
is a thing people do.
Having a second,
not us, of course, but some people I know.
Your side person.
Some people I know might be trying to keep the fire burning at both ends and just see which one pans out. And that can work for a while, but at some point you're going to have to decide, or the decision will be made for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is the nature of Venus in Gemini.
Yeah,
playing both sides. Yeah.
Totally.
Mm. All right. And then on the 24th of April, Uranus re-enters Gemini for the final time.
Yeah.
So I said the 26th, and now it's fully Uranus is now fully in Gemini, fully committed to, what are we saying, AI basically, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, completely, yeah. And it's been in Taurus for the last 7 years. It's spent 7 years in each sign. So it takes 84 years to go all the way around the zodiac. And that makes it one of the generational planets that we like to talk about. I mean, 8 years is obviously not a generation, but it's one of those things where, I mean, the generations kind of get shorter and shorter, right?
Yes.
Gen Z is now, Gen Alpha is now whatever. But that is very easily seen by those 8-year spans, or 7-year spans rather, where Uranus creates a very different sort of personality type or fashion trends that kind of go every 8 years.
Yes.
And you look back at something 10 years ago and you're like, oh, wow, that was a thing.
Yeah.
But when we were in it, we were just like, oh, that's just what everyone's wearing.
Yes.
The purse everyone has, or the shade of lipstick everyone was wearing. And
it's so true.
You look back and you're like, oh, wow, Uranus and Taurus was a thing.
To my mind, the Uranus Uranus and Taurus years that was the rate of rise of Bitcoin and cybercurrency. And back then, 7 years ago, I actually opened a Bitcoin account. I thought, oh, this is the way of the future. And I never quite got behind it.
Yeah.
It never quite came that I could buy coffee and pay with Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a way to challenge the government. That's Uranus.
Yeah.
And
disrupt the money system.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now in Gemini, it's definitely the AI upsurgent and the fact that we're taking it in our stride.
Yeah. Disrupting
really.
Communications, disrupting
news,
information,
the truth,
what's trustworthy. I mean, I saw some meme or, something on Instagram a while ago where it's like, yep, we had 100 years approximately where we could trust what we saw in a photo. And it was a good run, but it's over.
Exactly.
And that wasn't 100% even accurate, because even back in the 1800s, as soon as they had photography, they were making like ghost photos and, like you can see the spirit of the such and such.
That's right.
I mean, they were definitely doing stuff because photography is Neptunian, and Neptune was discovered around the same time as photography and film, which is a fascinating parallel. But yeah, Uranus and Gemini is definitely about AI. And news and the breakdown of the trustworthy news sources and all of that.
I'm getting texts from people who I don't know asking me, things. I'm thinking, who are these people? Block, block, block. But it's easy to
not
get
even people.
Yes, exactly. And where we talk about sometimes with Gemini to do with fashion, I do see now, since Uranus has been in and out of Gemini, tickling it a little bit, that there's this upsurge in technical clothing where you can still get your cheap stuff, but they are improving all these fabrics so that they are, they're almost listening to you. I don't know. I don't suppose they are, but everything seems to have a pocket or got a lining, particularly Patagonia. And these particular brands who are moving things forward, like from the astronauts down to the skiers and down to us in the street, we finally get to all those shoes you want to get. And they've got this and that technology.
Yeah.
And that is the Uranus, because Uranus rules fashion too, right?
Yeah, totally.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely a shift coming through there. And we have spoken fully. We have a full episode about Uranus going into Gemini with a lot more information. But we're talking about it now because it's finally moving in. It's not going back to Taurus for another 80-something years. So that's a great thing. Yeah.
Oh, you make it sound like such a long time. Yeah, we will not see it again. It's No, that's amazing to think that way.
We won't have to live through that again.
There was Uranus and Taurus. That was it for us.
Yeah. So every month we like to talk about the ongoing background energy that's going on.
Yeah.
And this depends on which signs the planets are in by their element and mode and polarity to give a background energy. It's like that hissing you get on the TV and so on. They call it.
Static. Yeah.
What's left over from the Big Bang. We'll go with that.
Background radiation.
Yeah, the background radiation, So for this background energy count, I'm only counting 10 planets, and they are the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron. So I'm not counting the moon, but I am including Chiron. So we've got to count for 10 here.
Okay.
And if you click through to the blog post on the link below, you can go through to see these tables that I'm talking about. So when we started in April, on the 1st of April, we had a strong, let me get my words right here. The polarity was actually balanced. We had 5 in active and 5 in passive. Our strong element focus was on fire with 4 planets in fire, and then 2 in earth, 1 in air, and 3 in water. So the prominent element was fire. And then the mode was cardinal, which for cardinal, there are 5 planets in cardinal, 3 in fixed and 2 immutable. So cardinal fire is, of course, Aries.
Yeah.
So that's where we began the month with this total emphasis, which is great. And then when we get to the end of the month, there then is a shift. So the elemental shift is now still on fire. We've got now 5 in fire.
Wow.
1 in earth, 3 in air, and 1 in water. And then the mode shift is still cardinal at the end because of all those planets that are in Aries there. So we've now got 6 in cardinal.
So it's just more cardinal Aries.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 in fixed and 2 immutable. And then the mode is still the mode is still cardinal. So again, at the end of the month, even though the sun is in Taurus, that's the only planet in Taurus.
Yeah.
The other 5 are still in Aries,
Yeah.
expressing the Aries energy.
Yeah.
And this is why you can't always go with just where's the sun, this and
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So we've got this absolute dominance, more so at the end of April than we had at the beginning, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. When I was a young astrologer a million years ago, our teacher said that when you're reading a chart, you take the sun out and then you interpret the chart.
I love that.
And it's like when you're trying to learn how to play chess, you remove the queens from the board and it forces you to look at your other planets.
I did not ever know that.
Do you play it? I don't know.
I mean, I can, but not well.
No,
there's no strategy. I just go
for it. Yeah.
Piece by piece.
But if you're trying to understand what's going on in the chart, you remove the sun and then look at those other planets, because we lean so heavily on the sun's energy.
Yeah.
And yet this is a prime example of where it's not working.
Right.
That only the sun's in Taurus. All the other 5 are still saying, we're doing Aries, we're doing Aries.
Absolutely. And there will be people born at the end of this month.
Yes.
Who,
we'll say, I'm a Taurus.
But they don't feel like a Taurus. And people will say, oh, you're stubborn and you're all this. But they will have all these planets in Aries and they will feel like an Aries. And everyone will be telling them, oh, you're a Taurus all their life. And they'll be like, I don't feel like a Taurus.
That's right. And then one day they'll go to an astrologer and discover
exactly
the mysteries of it all.
And
so
that's the day they'll understand why they've always been so skeptical, because they're just really secretly in Aries under all that. Yeah.
But this sort of thing happens a lot of the times.
Oh, yeah.
Where you've got, say, people say, oh, I'm a Sagittarius, but really all the planets are in Capricorn.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. That's why we do this background energy, because sometimes it matches beautifully. But for instance, now, even though the sun is in Taurus, which should have been fixed Earth, it's still not. And it's even more so the Aries energy coming through, which I always think is very interesting.
That's super interesting. And we've all known people who, they say, well, yeah, I'm an Aries, but I don't feel like an Aries, or I'm a Taurus, but I don't feel like a Taurus. I feel like more like a this or that. And then you look at their chart and you're like, oh, that's because,
There was that guy we met the other night who said he's born on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius. And I thought, we all know you're not on the cusp. You're either this or you're that.
And I've seen his chart. I've seen the person.
Sagittarius.
Yeah. But he's got moon and I believe Mercury in Scorpio.
There you go.
And I spent a whole evening explaining to him. Actually, it was quite fun. He was like, why, but I feel sometimes like a Scorpio. And I'm like, well, here's why.
Yes.
And you do come across as a Scorpio sometimes, but also
he came across as Sagittarius. Yeah. And I love that. I love it when they say, I was born on the cusp and this and that, because we know. So anyway, so that's why we look at the background energy. And that's why I urge everybody else too, because I believe in it. So I think it's a great thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is great. So now we're at our fabulous segment, which everybody's loving. I've got to say, is our Goddess of the Month coming through. They are loving it. Amazing. We're getting messages about it. So what we have here is Arwynne chooses a Goddess of the Month because she's in charge of the goddesses. And she's going to explain to us which is going to be the Goddess of the Month for April 2026.
Yes. So this month I have chosen, and this is because we are in such an Aries month, that this is Skahak. And that is Skahak, pronounced S-C-A with a little accent over it, T-H-A-C-H. And yes, you guessed it, that is Irish or Scottish. And she is...
So Celtic.
Celtic,
okay.
Exactly. She is considered a goddess, but actually a legendary warrior woman and martial artist. She was a martial arts teacher. And she trained the legendary Ulster hero, whose name I am not even going to try to pronounce. She trained a hero in the art of combat, and she describes her homeland as Scotland, but she is especially associated with the Isle of Skye.
Oh,
and yeah,
so that is Scottish then.
Yeah, for sure. So it says Scottish and Irish as well, but
okay,
yeah. But yeah, she is associated with the Isle of Skye. She's called the Shadow or the Warrior Maiden, and she instructed and had a school of martial arts, and she fought with swords and with hand-to-hand combat,
like Kill Bill.
Like Kill Bill. Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. Yes, totally. Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head. I was actually the bride for Halloween one year. in
Really?
yes,
What was
yeah.
that?
I had, well, no, that was Daryl Hannah. You just did a little eye patch motion, which our audience can't see, but that was Daryl Hannah's character. I was the Uma Thurman character, and I had like straight blonde hair at the time, and I actually had bangs for like a year. And yeah, I went and bought like a white jumpsuit kind of thing, and actually dyed it with like dye on the stove shop, and sewed stripes onto it. And then at the very last second, I was like, oh my God, I don't have a sword. So a friend of ours was picking us up, and I asked if she said she's stopping at Toys R Us to pick us up on the way to this party. And I said, can you give me a sword? And she's like, yeah, no problem. But it was kind of like a medieval sword, so it looked really hilarious and anachronistic. It was not a samurai sword, but you get the picture.
Well, yeah.
The movie had come out fairly recently, so everyone, knew. But yeah, exactly like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is the goddess of the month. She is a fierce warrior and a martial artist.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and there is art as well. So
we'll put a link below here to Arwynne's article, and she's got the art, her original art that Arwynne created of this goddess called Skahak. Skahak.
Yeah,
tricky.
Gaelic pronunciations.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to get the old pronunciation
I'm
video
sure.
for that one.
Well, yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by New Moon Wishing, a self-care guidebook for wishful thinkers. Please see the link in the show notes. Okay. So just giving some further consideration to the main energies during April, even though Venus is moving into Gemini on the 24th, for the first 3 weeks, it's going to be firmly in Taurus.
And it's one of the places where it's exalted, I believe.
It's indignity.
Indignity, there we go.
It's indignantly.
Indignantly, yeah.
Yes.
There's a Venus in Taurus image for you.
So it's well placed. And it's all, Taurus is all the, your stuff, your money, what grounds you, your basic things, isn't it?
For sure. And, I do have a thing about Venus in Taurus and Libra being the Ginger and Marianne, or actually Marianne and Ginger. And if anyone has not seen Gilligan's Island, thank you, Gen Z, for listening. But there was this show, and I don't even remember when. But yeah, so like, the nice girl next door, she's wholesome. She bakes pies. This is Taurus.
Right.
Yeah. She's, she loves the staying at home and a nice snugly thing. And, she's comforting and you can bring her home to mom. And then of course, Venus and Libra is like the glamorous, the movie star, the one who's like, maybe you've got your arm around the Taurus, but you're kind of like, looking over your shoulder at the Libra. I don't know. Yeah.
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 I do think Venus in Taurus also is about taking care of things and making sure that you're comforted. It's not necessarily about food, but that you've got a nice blankie and your sheets are washed and that kind of thing.
Comfort is such a great keyword because it really speaks volumes about not just the physical comforts like food and, as you say, the warm blankie and the sweaters and how do you pronounce the it's a Swedish concept of like the
hugger.
Yeah.
Hugger.
Yeah. It's pronounced differently than it's spelled.
Yes.
Yet another thing that's but that exact concept is so Taurian, specifically Venus in Taurus. But it's about much more than that. It's about I know tons of people who are Taurus and they do not like to do something out of their comfort zone. They they have, and they may be very adventurous. Like my best friend is a Taurus and she is incredibly adventurous. She's always up for doing, all sorts of things. But if I recommend or suggest something that is like outside of her comfort zone, she'll be like, no,
really,
I don't want to do that. Like, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's so music, food,
good wine.
Yeah. Nice temperature kind of range, all of these kinds of things.
It's grounding. It's not necessarily back to basics, but it's getting your fundamentals in place.
Yeah. And clothing, like things that, they're not the type to, I mean, they definitely have a thing about quality,
right?
But it's more about, it's not just the acquisitive kind ofness. It's also the quality of the fabrics, the comfort that comes from something that's well made, as opposed to some fast fashion trash kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Venus and Taurus. It's a good one. Reliable, steady. I wouldn't say nurturing.
No. But I think if you fall in love during Taurus, it's pretty solid, if a little boring, but it would be a solid love.
Yeah.
Whereas when Venus is in Libra, it's more about, am I leveling up with this partner?
Mm-hmm.
And what do people think? What do the people?
Right. Do you make are you a power couple?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes. Is it arm candy?
Yeah.
Whereas Venus in Taurus, it's more solid.
Yeah. And can I spend a day an evening at home watching Netflix with this person, and will that be enough?
Yes. So whilst Venus is in Taurus, what are we saying? Order in and get under the blanket and watch some.
Yeah. I mean, in our hemisphere, April tends to be hit or miss weather-wise. Sometimes it's
warming up. It will be warming up.
Sometimes it can be rainy. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good time to go for long walks, because it's just getting, kind of warm.
Spring is coming. Spring is definitely, it's mid-spring now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's also a provider kind of energy. Right. I would think Venus in Taurus is not just about providing financially, but they'll cook for you. It's not, they're not going to pour their heart and soul into it like Venus in Cancer. Yeah. But yeah, every time I go to my Taurus friend's place,
there's food.
Yeah, she offers me dinner,
Really? Wow.
And she's a great cook. She's got a couple kids, so she cooks fast. Oh my gosh. It's always just like, do you want something for dinner? Sure. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Can I help? Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, it's already done. Yeah.
Yes. Do you have any planets in Taurus yourself?
I have Mars in Taurus.
Oh, interesting.
And yes, I know I've talked about this a million times, but I call it my Ferdinand the Bull placement. And everyone remembers that children's book. It was the bull who would rather sit in the field and smell the roses than fight in the bull ring.
In the ring, the arena.
The arena, exactly. They tried to recruit him for the arena, and when they threw roses at the bullfighter, Ferdinand just stopped and smelled the roses.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and do you think that's you as well?
Well, the Mars in Taurus energy is definitely, it's slow and steady wins the race kind of thing.
Yes.
I definitely have to have someone, I don't have to have someone else motivate me, but it really helps. It's usually better when someone else does it kind of thing. It's usually better when someone else says, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Or no, I hate that. But
yes.
But yeah.
It's not an initiating sign, I don't think.
No.
But I see this in you walking up the stairs.
Oh, I will plod along forever doing the thing that works for me. And once it stops working, I'm like miserable and floundering until I figure out something else that I can plod along and do.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely the exercise you get with one step in front of the other, coming up those stairs 10 times a day. I don't know how you do it.
It's 6 times a day, but I
6 times a day. or and even now I know you're doing more, you're lifting weights, and that too is a Taurian thing.
Yeah.
It's static.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to have your feet well grounded as you're doing these things.
Yeah.
So it's not like a cardio thing where you're running or
oh yeah, I don't run. That's
Zumbering or something. Yeah. It's slow and steady, and it's all to do with form. I know that, and with Taurus is that too, where you actually have to hold the position. You can't have weak wrists and so on if you're lifting dumbbells, for instance.
Right. Oh, this has been a constant a constant thing in the back of my head for the last several months now that I've been doing this. Trying to.
What you're doing is you're expending your energy, Mars, in a Taurian way.
Very much so. Yeah.
So it's not like you're on a bike going 10 kilometers or 50 kilometers. You're actually just in position.
And true to my Mars in Taurus, I am having to trust the long-term benefits versus expecting to see any kind of short-term gain, because quote unquote at my age, that is just not realistic. So
oh, go you, because really you get it. You're fitter than many people your age. Absolutely,
that is true, and I am not discounting or trying to play that down. It is hard work though, and it just gets harder and harder.
Yes,
so that's Mars and Taurus. Just point me in a direction, and I will. I will plod along and do the thing. Yeah, but Venus in Taurus, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
I think this is something interesting. We always talk about Venus is what you attract versus Mars being what you are attracted to, or what you
Want to
go
chase
after,
down,
what you
yeah.
chase down, exactly, in relationships specifically. So someone with Venus in Taurus would express their love by being a good provider, or being trustworthy, or being stable and comforting and comfortable, and also attractive as well, but in a kind of a more wholesome way, not going crazy with the kind of glamorous stuff, but they also have a need for security that can, I think, it can either be a positive thing or a detrimental thing when they're looking for love. Yeah,
don't like surprises. No.
Yeah, and life is full of surprises, so. That could be a tough match.
A tricky one, yeah. I don't know anyone with Venus and Taurus. In fact, I have nothing in Taurus at all. So I don't quite relate to. But
I can't relate either. I love to be surprised. I've got Venus conjunct Uranus and Pluto. So surprise me. That's my tagline. If I were to be on a dating app, God forbid, it would be like, I love surprises.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll put that dating app back down to Uranus and Gemini, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
although I don't recommend anyone put that on their dating profile. No. Gosh. But yeah.
Okay. So this has been great. We've been looking at the Astro Overarch for April 2026. We've looked at the lunations, we've looked at the ingresses, and we've looked at of which there were none. Well, there were no stations. That's what there was.
Or any major aspects.
Yeah. And there's actually So it's been quite an interesting month there. I'd like to encourage you to, wherever you're listening, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube, please do give us a like.
Yeah.
We'd love to have a comment from you. If you want to support the show, you can definitely comment on YouTube. That helps us enormously, and it helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
And
make sure you're following us or subscribed, however that works, whatever
that's
app
right.
you're listening on.
And on Apple Podcasts, you can give us up to a 5-star review, which is what we would expect. And that would be fantastic to help our podcast grow. It really does help Arwynne and I provide for you our fabulous podcast, because and that is absolutely at no cost to you whatsoever, our listeners, dear listeners, but we're very happy that if you would do that.
Sounds great.
Additionally, make sure that you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter. Make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find her at...
I'm at mspink.net, MSPINK, and I'm sending out a weekly newsletter every Saturday.
Fantastic, yeah. So thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the two main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer, or someone who's learning astrology, or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.